Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my dray. I'm really glad you stopped by and I really hope you'll stay. Hi, it's me. It's Barb. This is the second time I'm doing this because I had the air conditioner on, and when I started to hit playback, all you could hear was the air conditioner and not me. So I figured, yeah, difficult choice, air conditioner or windbag. I have a few Temu things and a few things to talk about. So I'll start with the Temu, and then if you don't feel like listening to me chat afterwards, you can just say bye-bye and leave a thumbs up or down or comment or whatever. But let's get started. As I said, pajama party, because I've got some bed-related stuff. I got these. Oh, that's all crumbled up because this is the second time I'm doing it. For an incredible $8.01. Bamboo cooling sheets. I'm going to throw them in the wash and put them on the bed tomorrow, and I'll let you know how cooling they are. But they're bamboo, and that is just like a natural cool fabric. So it's really nice. They're this beautiful, it's a little warmer in real than it shows up on it looks like a nice cool navy blue, but it's actually kind of a Prussian blue. It's really pretty, but it's a flat sheet, fitted sheet, and 4 pillowcases. I thought it was 2 pillowcases, but it's 4. And I think its regular price was like 20 something dollars, $23 maybe, which is, I mean, a good price to pay for bamboo sheets. So I'm happy with them. And I got this, and I actually got this a few days ago, but I've been using it, so it's actually cold. This is one of their cooling blankets. They are phenomenal. I ordered one a couple of years, like 2 years ago, and it was pink, and it got a little bit ratty looking, so I still use it. I kind of sleep on it as a sheet until I got those things, but it's just not pretty enough to put up on the, well, they're not really all that pretty anyway, but as I said, it got a little bit ratty. Sometimes little furry babies don't make it to the end of the bed before they barf and whatever. Anyway, yeah, so this is the cooling blanket. It's a beautiful blue. That is pretty much what color it is. Slightly warmer again, but I figured this one will take a little bit longer before it starts looking ratty. They are quite see-through, but it does, I mean, it's a blanket, right? So it doesn't really matter. This is the cooling side. This does too, but this is more so. I just noticed that, like, when I lay on the bed, this feels nice, like it changes, it gets cool too, but this is the side that you put down, and it's just, there's no magic. It's just, you put your hand, your face on it. After a few minutes, it starts to warm up, and you move, like just people move in their sleep, but it automatically starts to cool down again, so that when you go back, it's cool. And yeah, they're very effective. This was $20.52. It's the queen size, large queen size. They've got a couple of different like 3 different queen measurements, but I got the big one. And it's only 20 bucks. So, well, 20 and a half. But yeah, I love these. And I will get another one in another couple of years when that one starts to wear out. They don't last forever. But I also got this. This was just under $4. It's got a little tie at the back. It's elasticized, so even if the tie comes undone, it won't go anywhere. But it's pretty. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's textured and it's quite pretty. And it was, yeah, just under $4. And I got these. These were, I've already put away the bag, so these were, I think, $5, or just a couple of pennies under $5. They, excuse me, they are 6 silicone baking cups for your air fryer. Well, for my air fryer. You have to order your own if you want them for your air fryer. I did because the chemotherapy changes your tastes and you never know for sure what's going to be okay and what isn't. So I was craving cinnamon rolls. So I got some Pillsbury cinnamon rolls and put one on a little parchment round in the air fryer. And it turned out okay. It turned out actually, just like a baked cinnamon roll, but the cinnamon melted out and was a bit wasted. So I don't want that to happen. I love my cinnamon. Cinnamon, I can say cinnamon. I just like saying it funny. But this will contain the cinnamon roll and the icing, not the icing, the cinnamon. So yeah, 6 of them for just under $5 or just over $5. Pretty good deal. You can cook eggs in them. You can cook brownies in them. I can fit probably 3 of them in my air fryer, but I only ever do like one at a time because I'm only going to eat one at a time. If I make more, I'll eat them all. And I don't really want to do that. Now these were, oh, see, there's for the word for the day again. It's a set of 10. They call them dust caps. But it's $3.83 for the 10 of them. And when my hair first started falling out, I had some of them. And it just sort of, at night, just sort of kept my hair from going all over the place. I'm finding now that it's been really hot here. We had one day just a couple of days ago that was up to 27, which is 20 and 20 is 40, 7, almost 80 degrees, I think, or over 80, I don't know. Anyway, it's hot, and get very sweaty and oily and fun, so I just put one of these on and it just stops it from feeling so gross. And yeah, I have a funny feeling my hair might be coming out again because I had some extra strong chemo drugs yesterday by mistake. And that's a story for later. But yeah, hopefully it won't, because it's starting to grow back. And it's like at the end of the video I'll show you. I'm starting to actually get some like 5 o'clock shadow on my head. Anyway, that's it for the Temu, except for one item that I think I might have already taken to the bathroom and put away, not thinking. But it's just another makeup foundation, but it's the like swirly kind. No, that was the pre-foundation, whatever they call it, skin, whatever. Chemo brain is really big today, so I apologize in advance because I'm forgetting a lot of words. Anyway, it's a color changing foundation, and you put it on and brush it and it just matches your skin. Oh, good. I just got a notification that one of my favorite YouTubers has got a new video up. That's Hey Everybody. I really enjoy watching her haul. She gets some really interesting stuff. I mean, some of it is really cool and fun. Some of it just inspires me to look for other things, and she's a pretty good hauler. I like her. I've been watching her for a couple of years now. Anyway, yeah, I got some Temu orders coming in. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Thank you. My cat wants to scratch the, you can't do it on that side either. No cuddles today. Tomorrow, later on, okay? Want to say hello? You want to say hello? Hello. Say hello. Hello. Okay. That's Opal. But what was I saying? Yeah, I've got a couple of orders coming in. I've used the what do you call them? The price adjustments and my surveys and all that stuff, and gotten some. I highly suggest recommend that you, when you get those annoying announcements, emails and stuff, or texts and stuff that say, Temu has an offer for you, check it. It's usually something stupid and useless. Like, if you spend $300, we'll give you $5 off, or, that's an exaggeration, but they just don't seem worthwhile to the average spender. If you're spending a fair bit of money, then they are good deals, but I don't. I never spend more than like $40 at the most. Um, there's a few rare occasions when it's been a bit more, but yeah, check them anyway, because I got one that said you get, where normally in Canada the minimum spend is $35, but every now and then I'll get this little notification saying either no minimum spend or minimum spend lowered to $20. And those are the good ones, because there's quite often I just want to buy one thing. Like, there's a beautiful dress in there that I want to get, and it's $23, but I don't need or want anything else. So I'll wait, and one day next week I'll get one of these memos saying, like $20 minimum spend, and I'll get the dress. I'm buying a couple more dresses, a couple more nightgowns that are very loose and flowy. I am starting radiation in the end of June, and it's 5 days a week for 5 weeks, and it's they warn you that you can get, it's like a kind of a serious sunburn. A lot of people have like sunburn inside the body, like on the organs that they're blasting. I don't fully understand all of it, but I was talking to a couple when I was in the hospital the other day for some tests. The gentleman went in for his testing, and I was talking with the woman, and she said, "Oh, we both had radiation, and yes, we both burned." Her husband's was a little bit more severe. It was on his neck, and had left some scarring, and but hers was the same area as mine. She'd had a hysterectomy, and they did the radiation after, and she said, "I did get burned, but her doctor recommended a cream that she told me the name of, which I promptly forgot because I didn't write down. But it's the same set of doctors, so I'm sure I'll get the name of it too. But she said it really helped a lot. And after she got it, it helped her husband's neck feel better too. So I will get some of that as soon as I know I need it. I learned from the beginning chemotherapy, don't buy anything you don't need. Don't go planning ahead until you know what you need. Because I got a lot of things that I didn't really need. But I thought, oh, they'll be great, especially for the hospital stay. I thought after the hysterectomy I'd be in hospital for a couple of days. And no, I was out the same day, much later the same day, but yeah, it was day surgery, and so I had a bunch of extra nightgowns and slippers and stuff for the hospital, and didn't need any of them, but that's okay. I still wear them. It's just I bought a couple of extra nice ones because if you're going to be in hospital, you're going to be you want to look nice, right? But yeah, make sure you know what you need before you buy it, even on Temu where things are cheaper. So anyway, yesterday was my last chemotherapy treatment, and it was a marvelous day. It was a fabulous day. It was amazing. I got there very early due to my cab driver, wannabe race car driver. Maybe he was a race car driver. I don't know. But when he pulled up, his car was this gleaming pearly white with candy apple red hood and trunk, and a strip of candy apple red along the top of the white sides of the car. Really nice looking. And I got in, and the inside was black and red. He had driver's gloves on. I mean, we're talking it was already 65 degrees, warming up, and a racing jacket. And he drove like a race car driver. Very safe, but whenever there was a straightaway, he just tapped the gas a little bit more. Fortunately, it was very little traffic at that hour, and I got there in 20 minutes. It's usually like a 35-minute drive. We got there in 20 minutes. I was way too early, but that was okay too. I just grabbed a seat and waited for them to open up, and the uh, check-in station to open up, and checked in and went and did all the things I had to do, which was go upstairs for treatment. um, but yeah, I did. I got there and got seated, and they started to put the IV in, and of course, as usual, they struggled because all of my veins are going, no, 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 get away from me, no. So it took them a few jabs and a few tries to get the right spot, and they finally got it down here in my hand. And I just realized I don't know if I actually showed you those things or if I just talked about them. I know I did the, whatever. If you want to see something again, tell me and I'll show you again. In another video. But, yeah, so I got there early, and the nurses were great. The one who finally got it into my hand, she says, oh, good, we got it. And then it started to push out. So she said, okay, I'm going to give it a little gentle push. I'll give it one more try, and if not, we'll take it out and we'll work somewhere else. So she gave it, I didn't hardly feel her moving it. That's not right. Anyway, didn't hardly feel her pushing it in. And she goes, okay, it looks like it's going to be fine. And then all of a sudden, I felt a little, and it hurt. And I told her so. And I said, I actually felt that. I've never felt that before. It hurts a little bit. And then it started to swell a little bit. And she said, okay, hang on. I'm going to go grab, one of the nurses and have her take a look at it too. This young woman was fairly new. So, still learning things, right? Really competent, nice young woman, but things pop up now and then that you want to make sure you're doing the right way. So anyway, the other nurse comes over and says, yeah, it's not terribly uncommon. Sometimes it'll swell a little bit, but it should go down. We'll keep an eye on it. So she started to insert the first medication, and it burned. And I said, I can really feel that. It's like really burny. And I've never felt that before. That's, the only reason I'm mentioning it is because I've not felt that before. So she called the other girl over again and said, yeah, no, it's different medication. We're doing them in slightly different orders as the doctor prescribed. And to try and minimize some of the side effects that I was still getting. The leg problems are nowhere near as bad as they were, but I'm still getting them. So she thought maybe changing the order of things might help. But anyway, through the whole, I was there 6 hours, and through the whole 6 hours, I could feel it. It hurt. But not terrible. I was just definitely aware of it the whole time. So, but by the end of the day, when she went to take it out, it was very swollen, very sore, and I could barely move my hand. But that was the end of the day. After she got me all hooked up and the medicines were flowing, she said, do you want to recline? And do you want a blanket and all this stuff? And I said, yeah, I'm going to push the chair back. So she was helping me push the chair back, and she was lifting up the footrest part of because it's like a recliner that you sit in, right? She was lifting up the footrest, and I'm showing you, but you can't see. I went to put my leg up, and because my legs were already very tired, I sort of give it a little bit of an extra boost just at the moment that she turned around to pull up and lock the footrest, and I kicked her in the butt. Hard. Because I had to really swing my leg up, right? And I kicked her right in the cheek. Butt cheek. I couldn't kick that high if my life depended on it. But I was mortified, and I said, I'm so sorry. And she just looked at me, and she goes, that's the second time that's happened to me today. And this was only at 8 o'clock in the morning. So she said, I am definitely going to learn where to stand when doing this. So we started laughing, and of course, that all the other nurses looked over. Everybody looked over to find out what we were laughing about, and the one nurse, Tanya, said, there's not one of us in here that hasn't happened to, so don't worry about it. I said, okay, fine. Um, but then she started playing her music, just very, very softly, like nobody, I could barely hear it. Um, and this family came in, mother and son. She's an elderly woman, and he was probably in his mid-40s. Very attractive man. And I think that the nurse had a bit of a crush on him because she just kind of all of a sudden got giggly, and she started playing the music, and then she asked this lady, what song do you want to hear? I'm playing DJ today. What song do you want to hear? And this woman said, oh, I'd love to hear some Diana Ross or Carole King. I think, yeah, Carole King, not Carole Pope. I like Carole Pope. And some really good old, like 60s, early 70s music. Just phenomenal choice. And like I said, she's just a little bit older than myself. And so she's playing that, and the nurse is like, rocking, and she's rocking, the son's rocking. It was great. And then she turned to the lady down at the end of the hall, or the end of the row, and said, what would you like to hear? So this lady, I can't remember what the song was. It was a good song that I knew, but I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It was a good song. And then this other South Asian fella came in and sat down, and he didn't get hooked up yet, so when his turn came, it was great. He said, could we listen to one of my songs? And Tanya said, sure. So he named the song, and she goes, can you spell it for me? Because it was an Indian song, a Bollywood song. And he did. And so she put that on the list, and then she went to the lady beside me who wanted something really cool. And then she said to me, like, what do you want to hear? And I said, Freddie Mercury, Queen, Don't Stop Me Now. So she put that on the list, and then the couple of gentlemen beside me asked for some good old country music, which I'm not a huge fan of country music, but, their choice, right? I like the old country. I love the old country, like Patsy Cline and Jim Reeves and Conway Twitty and that era of country. Can you see her? There you are. There I am. You say hi? Opal? You say hello? No, you're just going to sit and stare at yourself? Vain. Cat, your name is Vanity. So when this second lady's song came on, she sort of like bopping down at the end of the row and singing away. And then the South Asian fella's song came on, and he still wasn't hooked up. So his song came on, he stood up and started singing it and doing like the Bollywood dancing. And it was so much fun. And then the other lady, now she was on a bed, like on a stretcher. She started swaying to her song. And then my turn came, and I'm not singing. No. I respect people too much to sing in their presence. But I could not help. You can't help but dance to Queen, Freddie Mercury, especially this song. This Can't Stop Me Now. It's also known as Mr. Fahrenheit. Just mind-blowingly exciting, and if you know, you know. It's one of those if you know, you know things. It was, and it and a whole bunch of other songs has been scientifically proven to raise dopamine, the serotonin, whatever the happy chemicals are, to energize and just boost spirits. Now it was up, ranks really high. So does You Can Ring My Bell by, I can't remember who did that, but it's, that You Can Ring My Bell. That's another one that has been proven to really cheer people up, like chemically, naturally cheer them up. I do know that for a fact with the Freddie Mercury song, because every time I play it, like your whole body changes. I can feel better listening to it, and I dance in the chair, and anyway. And then the two guys beside me, their song came on, and they just quietly bopped to it. But it was a good song. It was a new song, and I didn't recognize it, like a newer song, but it wasn't terrible. So, and then yeah, it went on like that for about an hour. New people would come in and request a song, and it was great. And then a woman across from me had the same reaction that I did on my first treatment, the very first medication that they gave me. I had a very bad reaction to it, and I passed out for 8 minutes, 6 or 8 minutes. Something's making me think 8, but anyway, uh, I was unconscious. It just knocked me right out, and I stopped breathing. And this happened to this same woman, or to this woman sitting across from me, and it was a remarkable thing to watch. The nurse that was sitting with her, she was starting the drip and everything, and this lady just went, and immediately this nurse said, "Reaction," and I mean less than 3 seconds. The other 4 nurses were right there, and each one had a job, and they did it. And it was like one woman was putting in oxygen, the next woman was uh, just doing something. They all had their job. And then the initial nurse, the one who called reaction, was just up by this lady's ear. She had her hand on her shoulder and was just talking very quietly and calmly to her, and you could sort of hear her saying, "You're going to be okay. We're doing everything, and you'll be fine in a few minutes. Just keep listening to us talk to you, and when you wake up, when you come back to us, you'll feel much, much better." And she was just talking to her in this constant, soft, gentle voice, very reassuring. It was remarkable to, I keep saying that word, but there's no other word. It was just crazy watching this little team take such good care of her in such an orchestrated manner. Like, each one had a job, and they knew how to do it. It was amazing. And I mean, that's the same thing that they did when I had mine. It was like so cool to watch, because like that's what they did for me. I don't remember any of it, because when I came out after the 8 minutes, when I came to, I thought I'd only been out for a few seconds. I could feel myself slipping away, and then I thought it was like a few seconds later I was back with these like 5 faces over me, and the same, calming voice, hand on the shoulder, and I felt safe. I felt well taken care of and safe, and it was a wonderful feeling. It's like just so awesome to know that they are trained to do this, and that they are so good at it and so dedicated to it. It was a really cool experience. I mean, I felt really bad for the lady, because I know how scary it is, and this happens like daily. People have reactions, and you never know when it's going to happen. Could be the middle drug or the first one, or in my case yesterday it was the last one that made my hand go boom. But anyway, yeah, it was a really cool day yesterday. And hello, here she comes again. Here she comes again. There she goes. All things considered, like owie and the tired, it was a really cool day. They came and asked, did I want to ring the bell, because it was my final treatment, and I just said no, I don't. And they said, fine, okay. I have heard them try and encourage people to ring the bell, and when you finish chemotherapy, they have a bell outside in front of the waiting room where you ring it, and everybody claps. And I mean, if you want to do that, that's great, but I don't like being the center of attention like that. It would make me very uncomfortable to have people staring at me, and the waiting room was very full. So I just like, no, I don't. I just prefer to leave. Besides, I might be back. You never know, right? I don't want to ring that bell till I'm sure it's going to be my last one. Then I will. I'll have a picture of my kids, and a picture of my grandbaby, and a picture of my cat. And they'll all want to board and go, ring, 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 ring. But yeah, then after that, I just went very sleepily, went home, uh, took my friend down his dinner, came home, had my dinner, went to sleep, slept really well, like 6 hours right through. And that's a lot for me. Normally it's like 3 or 4 hours, and then I'll wake up for a bit and uh, go back to sleep. And I mean, it's still good sleep, it's just interrupted. And usually by having to go to the bathroom. But yeah, last night I slept 6 hours straight, and then I got another little nap this morning, and then did some groceries. I do a grocery haul too, but I didn't get anything any different from any other times. Mandarin orange cups and twisty sticks. That was it. And and butter tarts. I wanted to get my butter tarts. And I share them with my buddy down the hall. Well, it comes in 9, so he gets 4 and I get 5. I paid for them. But yeah, no, it was a really wonderful day. I mean, all things considered, it was a great day. I got a good sleep. Opal did her regular, and I can't remember if I told you this at the beginning of this video or the end of last video, but I know that the chemotherapy drugs must have a smell when they exit your body. Bathroom stuff, perspiration, oils, sneezing, coughing, that sort of stuff. So it must have a smell, because I noticed, like, for a few days after my treatment, she'll sleep with her head away from me, quite a ways away from me, and her butt still, like, facing me so that I can still pet her. I've got these little they're sleep socks, but I put it on my hand, and so I can still pet her and still have a bit of cuddle time. I tried the first time, I tried using a mask so that, but it slid off. So that's okay. She doesn't sleep with her head towards me anyway. And then after like a week or so, she'll turn around and it'll be back to normal. And then after this time, we won't have to worry about that anymore, because radiation doesn't do the same thing. So, and I have decided to do it no matter what. I talked with a friend who may or may not have to go through it herself, but she just reminded me of a few important things that, I have made up my mind that, I'm still a little scared of it. I'm still a little afraid of the burns and scarring. I don't care about the scarring, because it's, on my tummy, and nobody's going to see it, except the doctors. And maybe Opal when I change into a nightgown. She don't care. But yeah, I'm going to go through with it, and we will work something out with transportation. We will work something out with my friend down the hall. Fortunately, they're going to be, I'm just going to see, oh yeah, we're still getting up there. I'm talking too much. The first time I did this video, it was like 50-something minutes long. And then when I played it back, all I could hear was the air conditioner. So, but because the treatment itself is 5 minutes. So the radiologist was telling me between getting signed in, changed, treatment, changed, and home, off, is usually about an hour. So I thought, okay, well, if we can, and I know that it's typically about a half-hour drive. So 30, 35 minutes. So if we can get it scheduled in between meals, then I don't have to worry about my friend not getting his breakfast. Then I'll leave. I'll get back, give him his lunch, and have a nap in the afternoon, and then give him his supper, and there we go. Or go after lunch and be back in time for his supper. That one would probably be better, because the time between breakfast and lunch seems to be like kicked in with his body. He knows, like, after a certain while he gets hungry, but after lunch, he doesn't. So if I can time it to go between his lunch and supper, then if something happens and I am like a few minutes late, he'll be okay. And I'm going to give my friend a couple of cans of ravioli and soup and stuff like that she can keep on hand just in case, something happens and I'm not back for supper. So, yeah, we got things taken care of, and the timing is the only thing that's still up in the air. I'll get some volunteer drivers because ODSP helps me pay for taxi now, but that's a lot of appointments. That's like a lot of drives. 10 times 5 is 50. I can't do math right now, but 5 times 5 is 25 times 50. The cab fare is like 55 out there. That's what they set their meter at, is 55. I know that when they don't set their meter, it's almost 70. And that's in like decent traffic. Slow traffic, God knows. But yeah, so they get paid $55 each trip. It's quite a trip. But they'll yeah, I can get volunteer drivers to take off some of the load from ODSP, so they won't have to pay for every ride, because eventually, it comes out of people's taxes. But I mean, I'm really grateful for it, because I wouldn't be able to do any of this without their help, without ODS's help, no matter what hospital it would be at. Yeah, so that's all that. Got things settled and worked out, and not looking forward to it, but it'll be done in 5 weeks, and then I'll go for the typical scans to see how well everything has worked all together. And then after that, it's just like, apparently it's like every 6 months you go for an appointment and a quick ultrasound or something, and they keep tabs on things for the rest of my life. The timing does spread out later, as it goes on. And now I did have some metastases, whatever it's spreading, and stage increase. When they first told me it was like stage 1, but now they're telling me stage 3. She says it's not that big a difference. Before it was like 95% cure rate. She goes, now it's down to about 80. But she says, I'm like high 80 because we got everything really early. When they did the first testing, there wasn't any spread. When they did the biopsies after the surgery, there was a tiny amount of spread. So they had to lower the chances by a teeny tiny bit, but it's still an extremely good outcome, so I'm not worried. And if something changes, then we deal with it then, right? Anyway, that's enough of that. It might sound scary and, sad and all of this, but it's all really good news. I've been very, very blessed to have been able to get through this the way I am, with amazing friends around me, friends to talk to, because sometimes just talking about it makes me feel a little bit better too. And the thing is if you don't want to listen, that's fine. I know it's not an easy thing to listen to, especially over and over again, like I keep doing. But yeah, it's like, you don't want to listen. I respect that. Sign off after Temu. I will always do the hall things first if I'm going to chat about anything anyway. So, I mean, even if it's all sunshine and roses, I do the halls first. And if you don't want to listen to sunshine and roses, that's fine. You don't have to. If you don't want to listen to doom and gloom, you don't have to. But speaking of doom and gloom, there isn't any to talk about. Things are good around here. We've had some hot weather. I've had my air conditioning going, which is why I'm doing this the second time. And I'm all cozy and ready for bed. I'm going to heat up some dal. I'll heat up a little bit of rice. I don't think I'm going to have any more oranges. I think I've had like 6 cups today, and they no more than 4. But I'm going to live dangerously sometimes, right? I can't wait for my eyebrows and eyelashes to come back. Oh yeah, see, look. I got 5 o'clock shadow. It's really coming, like daily I can see growth. And so much, such less swelling here. That makes me happy. This was the other thing that I got on that Temu order, was this cap. I think I showed it to you. Or maybe that was the other video. I don't know. But it's really pretty. It's nice and comfortable. It's got beautiful texture. And it's got just like little... It is elasticized, so it doesn't... I mean, these don't have to be done up, but that's the way it's supposed to be styled. So that's the way it's styled. But I really like this. And it was $4, something like that. Anyway, I can feel my hair, but no eyebrows and no eyelashes. Underarm hair starting to come back. It's itchy. I'm going to start shaving again. That's no fun. That was the greatest thing about all of this chemo hair loss. Didn't have to shave my legs, didn't have to shave my underarm, didn't have to shave my chin. I think I have like 1 or 2 chin hairs coming back. Could have lived without them. Anyway, what's a few hairs between friends, right? Itchy. Love y'all. Really grateful for the visit. Come back anytime. Hang around. You're more than welcome. See you later.